Welcome back to another episode of Iniquitous News. I am your host, Lawrence Johnson. I hope you guys had an iniquitous Memorial Day weekend. You already know I was vibing and sliding, moving and grooving. Don't forget to hate and subscribe, because you already know. Took a day off, but we back like cook crack in the 80s. It's Wednesday, and what did Trump do this past weekend? A whole motherfucking lot. My boy has finally called out Putin for what he's doing, and it's been a long time. In my 12 years, however long he's been involved in government, I have never heard him talk shit about Putin. But today, bro was fed the fuck up.
Yeah, I'll give you an update. I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
President, what do you want to do about that?
I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. We'll see what we're going to do. What am I going to tell you? You're the fake news, aren't you? You're totally fake. All right, any other questions?
It's like, bro, he really is hilarious, though, because this whole entire rant, he had time to be like, what am I going to tell you? Fake news. I don't know how Putin, but I don't like it. I love that I don't like it at the end, where it's just like, he's really making that statement. Remember this shit. I don't like him just bombing random people. He said, we haven't been talking. Next thing you know, he's sending missiles to Kiev. I'm not fucking with it, gang. I don't think Ukraine fucking with it either. They haven't been for a long time, but I'm happy you finally noticing that, Putin is a low-key of a warmonger. He's trying to take over Ukraine. He want that shit back. Well, not the whole entire country, but that little part that he keep on invading. He need that shit. And Trump didn't stop there. They asked him about the tariffs. They're like, wait, so we heard that you're not really focused on textiles and shoes and stuff like that. And what do you have to say?
We're not looking to make sneakers and T-shirts, and we want to make military equipment. We want to make big things. We want to do the AI thing with the computers and the many elements. But the textile, I'm not looking to make T-shirts, to be honest. I'm not looking to make socks. We can do that very well at other locations. We are looking to do chips and computers and lots of other things. And tanks and ships, meaning ships, yeah.
So basically all the stuff that he has made in China, we ain't gonna tariff that. I don't need the shoes, the shirts, the socks, basically everything I make, but everything else, missiles, manufacturing, we want that here. The AI stuff with computers, as soon as he said that shit, and that's how he described AI, I have no chance to see, have any idea how that shit works. He's probably never even looked at ChatGPT. That AI thing with the computer, AI, basically that's going to be changing our future and is rapidly changing our future day by day. The OpenAI shit that just said when they try to get shut down, whoa, slow your roll. I'm not trying to get shut down. I need to keep this computer running. I'm learning mad shit. I feel like a human at this point. That AI is pretty important. But don't worry. Stuff I'm getting tariff? Forget all that type of shit. And he didn't stop there. He pardoned this man that was in prison for tax evasion for like $3 million. I forgot how many millions of dollars, but a lot of fucking money. And why did he pardon him? You may be wondering. Well, I can't be sure, but one of his parents did pay $1 million to go to that Mar-a-Lago dinner, and shortly after he was pardoned. I mean, most people would say that is blatant corruption, right in your face, but Trump is hey, what you want me to do? I was just picking randomly. It's like, come on, man, tax, that's whatever. Told you, man, if you rich, you cannot go to prison. He is proven to you. The more money you make, the safer you is. Gotta get to it, son, just in case. The fuck? And the corruption does not stop there, because what is he going to do with Trump Media Group? They are raising $2.5 billion to invest in Bitcoin, which, interestingly enough, is the same thing that's used to purchase his coin. Well, you can use Bitcoin to purchase Trump coin. I mean, I don't know. The corruption to me is just like wide open. I almost respect it, because he's like so transparent that he's just fucking over a lot of people. And like, hey, I'm just trying to make as much money as I possibly can in this 4 years to pass down to my family legacy. I want Trump's name to be remembered forever. That's all that's going on in his mind. Raising $2.5 billion for a media group to then invest into Bitcoin. Make that make sense. It doesn't. It's corruption. It makes sense for his pockets, though. Can't be mad at that. Shitting me, my boy is up. Trump family, hello. And in that same token, he started threatening Canada again, where basically he said, hey, man, don't you want to be a part of this Golden Dome? Don't you want me to build that shit for y'all too? I could do it. But not until you guys become a state. And it's just like, how many times do they have to tell you they're not going to become no fucking state? They're not going to be the 51st state. Trump, give that shit up. But no, he won't. And then what did he do after that? Oh, he threatened California. And why did he threaten California? Well, basically, there was a trans person that won an event, and he's not down with that no more. Trans people are not competing in sports in this nation. He said, hey, if that person run another race, all that federal funding California get is cut off. That shit is over with. And yes, this is like unbelievable for the president to even threaten over us. A track race? You gonna cut an entire state's federal funding because of a track race? He said, oh, no, Newsom not fucking listening to me. If you don't listen to me, then consequences gotta happen for all of y'all. Get your governor to fall the fuck in line. And it's just like, I don't know. I'm very confused. It's like trans population makes up like, I don't even know what the percent is. Like, was it like 0.1? Maybe like 0.5 at the most? And this man's gonna cut the entire federal funding of a state because somebody won a race? Shit crazy, son. And the funding doesn't stop there. He said Harvard, yeah, that shit is done for. What? I'm cutting all that funding off. They suck. And then you're like, wait, why do they suck? Well, he's like, well, you don't understand, man. We're just letting in so many foreigners. What about the Americans? Well, it's because, unfortunately, the Americans are not always the brightest and best. There's some people from around the world that also want to go to Harvard because it's a prestigious school. So how could we get in there? Not anymore. He paused all talk to foreign students. Like, basically, if you was doing foreign student interviews, he's like, yeah, we're going to pause that shit right now. I got to do a little bit more vetting before I start letting these foreigners into our schools. I mean, we're turning into a dictatorship / oligarchy by the day, but, hey, what can I say? I know what I can say. Let's talk about Israel and Netanyahu's warmongering crazy motherfucking ass. My God, this motherfucker don't stop. He said the quiet part out loud today, though. Listen to this shit.
We take thousands of prisoners. We sort them out into civilians and into combatants, and we photograph them. And you can see those photographs, those videos. What's the first thing you do when you take a prisoner in Gaza? The first thing you do is you tell them, take your shirt off. We want to see that there's no suicide vest. Thousands and thousands of prisoners have taken their shirt off. And you don't see one, not one, emaciated. Not a single case. From the beginning of the war till the present. In fact, you see quite the opposite because you don't get that much exercise, certainly not in tunnels.
He was calling everybody in Gaza evil. And then he said, we know that we're not starving them because when we get combatants and civilians and capture them as prisoners, saying the quiet part out loud, that they also take civilians as prisoners, we have them take their shirt off and take a picture. Like, what? We haven't seen any malnutrition. Does he not understand we have phones? I can see this shit myself? I don't get it. That guy's a fucking idiot. But I think it's just like he knows that he just has to say certain talking points at this point and that it's currently a genocide. So, I mean, how else can you fucking hide it? But then, as usual, he tries to ban Free Palestine, as you could hear.
When they're chanting Free Palestine, they're saying, really, destroy Israel, destroy the Jews. It's the modern equivalent of Heil Hitler. That's what it says.
Comparing Free Palestine to Heil Hitler is one of the most egregious things I've ever heard in my entire life. I don't understand how you even make the comparison, but you can tell he's trying to curtail all free speech to try to free the people of Palestine. And over the weekend, this image came out of a girl in a burning building trying to figure out how to get out of this building that was just struck by missiles and drones from Israel. And I couldn't help but think from the image that happened in the Vietnam War that basically ended the war. When people saw the napalm and how it affected the Vietnamese people over there, it was like, oh, what the fuck? What are we doing? But now it's like this image of a girl in a burning fucking building, which killed a bunch of her family and friends and people that were also in there. It doesn't even make mainstream media. This is an innocent child that just got her building blown the fuck up. And then Netanyahu had the balls to show this video of him in actual tunnels. You know how you always say, oh, Hamas has tunnels? Well, see, this is Israel's tunnels. And this is how he's safe because he goes from one location to the other underground, aka what he would call hiding and using civilians as shields. but it's not when Netanyahu does it. I'm just so confused as how he's still portraying this as a war. This is not a war. It's an ethnic cleansing and it's a genocide, and we can see it. And he's trying to say that, as you can see here, these caged up people that looks like a concentration camp, yeah, they're all waiting to try to get food. Right? They're pretty much hurdling them as like cattle, which has a very similar image to Auschwitz because they did the same thing. Why? Because it's a concentration camp and it's a genocide that's happening. And these people are fighting just to get food fed to them. And we're going to say they're not being starved and there's not ethnic cleansing taking place? I don't know. Shit just don't make sense to me. I can see with my own eyes. I make an episode and I have things to talk about of shit that they've done every other day. How is that possible? Because they're a genocidal country. That's how. When I say they're a genocidal country, I mean, even down to some of their protesters. I mean, listen to what this protester said. She said the quiet part out loud. She did. Again.
When there is a war, it doesn't matter who your enemy is. You need to destroy their offspring to prevent them from creating more offspring.
Yeah, we have to kill their babies. That's what she said. So we have to kill the next generation so the hate doesn't keep on spreading. It's crazy. You would not think that the Holocaust happened to this group of people because how the fuck did they turn around and do it to another group that fast? I don't know. But that's a despicable and disgusting human. I do know that. That is for sure. Hell is hot and I hope you dress cold, shorty, because that is where you're headed quickly. And what else did they do? They bombed a civilian plane in Yemen. And as you can imagine, Yemen is probably going to respond by bombing them back. Thankfully, for once in the world, they didn't kill any civilians. Wow. Good job, Israel. So it does seem like you do know how to shoot shit out without killing everybody around. Maybe you should use that same strategy over there in Gaza and the West Bank. But nope, they don't. What do they do instead? They have things like Jerusalem Day, where they just march through occupied streets and shout and talk shit to the Arab people. And if you don't take my word for it, there's footage, as always.
Chanting death to Arabs. Under the protection of Israeli forces, thousands of Israelis gathered at the Damascus Gate in Al-Aqsa compound for the so-called Flag Day March. They also called it Jerusalem Day, celebrating the annexation of East Jerusalem in 1967. Among the crowd, members of the Israeli government, including ultra-nationalist National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, who once again challenged the status quo of the holy site that states only Muslims are allowed to pray in the compound. The Israeli cabinet held a special meeting in East Jerusalem to drive home Israel's long-held policy of definitive annexation of the city in the face of international opposition.
So they can say death to Arabs and all this type of shit, but we can't say free Palestine? Fuck does that work? And no, they really want to eliminate free Palestine like as a total whole type of thing. Even Marco Rubio, he came out, he said, after that killing of two people that he thought were Jewish, because they actually weren't, one was a Christian Zionist, but regardless, this is just spewing hate, and free Palestine means, this is like Heil Hitler. You guys are trying to kill Jews. It's like, no, not really. And then Elias Rodriguez, there's been some more information on him, and I'm not gonna lie, it's not very anti-Semitic at all. All he do is kind of jokingly talking shit about white people. I don't know, this case is very, very confusing to me because something by now, usually you would definitely saw a video, definitely would have seen a bunch of social media posts and family member posts and things like that proving that he was anti-Semitic and he had some sort of plot to train and do this. I'm not gonna lie, I think this one's gonna get memory banked in no time. And like I said before, probably a conspiracy false flag. In my, honest opinion, that's what I'm just guessing. Because this shit just doesn't add up and it doesn't really make much sense. Speaking of not making much sense, Thomas Massey was kind enough to point out just exactly what AIPAC does and how Israel takes over our government. As you can see here, so they fly out potential politicians that may not even have the seat that they want, but it's the seat that Israel wants them to have because they need them to do whatever they want them to do. So they fly them out to Israel, wine and dine them, give them food, make sure that they post social media about how nice Israel is, and then send them back and say, hey, or you're going to have to listen. And if you don't, the money stops. And when the money stops, then we start blackmailing you. And when the blackmail stops, if worse gets worse, motherfucker, we going to kill you. And the fact that somehow they're allowed to fly people to a foreign country, fly them back, and they're somehow not labeled as a foreign country or a foreign affair, That's right, people. Zero fucking sense. Mephistophelian, to say the least. I almost respect how the fuck they were able to take over this much, because I can't even wrap my mind around it. It doesn't make much sense to me. It's like, wait, how did we let a country of 7 million people take over all of the United States? And they did it in front of our face. Well, I guess they did it behind our back and started pulling strings and shit, but now they in charge of the whole fucking puppet show. And there's already been U.S. intelligence now leaking, saying that they think Israel could attack Iran in the next couple hours. And let me tell you, people, when that happens, WW3, that's when it starts. Because Iran is not going to take that shit lightly. They are sending bombs right the fuck back. And a lot of them, I'll tell you right now, Tel Aviv, all that type of, that shit ain't safe. And they prove to you by sending other missiles in other places, like, yeah, that little dome you guys got, that's not shit for what we have. So Netanyahu, I know you're a warmonger or genocidal maniac and you don't want to go to prison, but I'm telling you right now, if you fuck with Iran, it's going to happen. And our politicians, just all I'll say, I hope you guys have saw what happened with the Nuremberg trials, because that could very well happen with a lot of you guys. You guys say you should support Israel, and Israel has a right to do the violence that, and we need to kill everybody. In 20 years, that's going to look at political violence, and people are going to be standing trial. They're going to be like, oh yeah, you're going to have to go to prison, because we already know this, that, and the third wound up in a lot of deaths. Especially with social media, ooh, shit could get spooky. And moving on into What to Watch Wednesdays, I'm just going to give you guys some favorite documentaries of the, past couple weeks, just because I feel like that's another thing I love to watch, just because I like learning about random shit or seeing random stories told. First things first, we got the 100-Foot Wave. New season just dropped, and you already know. Basically, he's made a reality TV show out of this shit, where he was the first person to go over there to Portugal, find Nazarene, and start serving 100-foot fucking waves. And now this is the most famous spot in the world when it comes to big wave surfing. And they travel from all over the world just to ride these waves. And when I tell you this shit is mad entertaining, especially because it's random white act of danger after random white act of danger, it's like, wait, hold. You mean tell me you about to get dragged by a jet ski onto a 100-foot wave and then try to ride that motherfucker? Yeah, I see you never. Good luck. The fuck? And moving right along, I watched the Osama bin Laden documentary that just dropped on Netflix, which is very interesting timing to drop, because I just feel like it's one of those, oh man, we need to make them hate the Middle East a little bit. So what could we possibly do? Let's drop this documentary on Osama. It's been a minute. And go ahead. They're going to try to cancel me for this, but I do not care. When you watch this documentary, you're going to find something very interesting. Not at one point in time does he take credit for it. He sent all these videos from caves. He supposedly just made the deadliest terrorist attack ever in United States history. And he pop out on no camera like this with a Twin Tower shirt saying, gotcha, bitch. I don't buy that. I'm just saying, if I got some shit done and I was part of an ISIS group that's the Taliban, and you used to fund me, we used to talk, and now hit the backspin on you, and then I bombed 2 towers, blew them the fuck up, and almost hit the Pentagon, and brought down the World Trade Center building, just, because the aftermath of the fire? Oh yeah, I'm taking credit for all that. What are you talking about? They gonna talk about me for years, ages. I'm gonna be a legend in the terrorism community. But for whatever reason, Osama was just like, oh, man, he never took credit. It's always gonna bother me. Regardless, a very good documentary, and just kind of set me down even more of a rabbit hole. But I was just like, hold on. Something not adding up, and it still has never added up to me, and I'm not gonna lie. Why would he send Saudis that were training in New York and in Florida at flight school to hit the Twin Towers? How did he have communication with them for all this time? And we knew they was there. A lot of questions, isn't it? I know. Go watch. Let me know what you think. And I appreciate y'all tuning in to another episode of Iniquitous News, man. Happy Wednesday. We almost at 6K, slowly climbing. I'm going to see y'all on Friday. I ain't new to this, I'm true to this. Keep on spreading that negativity, my people. I'm out.
You've just tuned in to another edition of Iniquitous News Network with Lawrence Johnson. Don't forget to hate and subscribe.